might benefit the most from what I'm going to do tonight. And it's most likely because these are some things that you're thinking about. You're likely an individual who's having to make high impact decisions, and you might feel a little stuck. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to actually do this in a workshop style. I'm going to actually share my screen for the majority of this stream. And what you're going to experience is just me going from beginning to end, from a backstory all the way through, if we can get there, to the offer statement. I shouldn't say if, we're going to get there. It's 9:49. Let's see how quickly we can sprint through this. Now, what I did end up doing just before this live stream is I wanted to kind of set things up just a little bit so we're not taking so much time. So let me actually just share my screen with you all so that you can actually see what we're going to be doing, and how we're going to be guiding this so that you can just get a visual. It's really not going to be helpful if I'm not able to share my screen with you all. You really need to be able to see what's happening here. Interestingly enough, this is also part of the process that you will be if you work with me, that you'll be actually experiencing. So, and this is just one, by the way, and it's not this particular process, but it's how my thinking works and how we can help you to get to some clear decisions. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to outline the backstory. I want you guys to understand why I'm even doing this in the first place. I'm going to take a few sticky notes here, kind of map that out for you. And then we're going to focus on the ideal audience. Many of you know I come from a UX design background, but also executive storytelling. And so it's going to be a mixture of things that I've done even before I knew UX design existed. And so a lot of that comes from the empathy map canvas, and then the value proposition canvas. And then we're going to create a statement. Now, these things aren't going to be perfect, but it's going to be enough to get us to at least the first draft of the offer. We're going to take a look at pricing. That's going to be interesting. I did some work. I talked with a good friend of mine who actually was the one that challenged me, not to do it live, but he gave me 3 days. I'm like, I'll do you one better. I'll go ahead and live stream this. And so we're going to look at pricing and what that actually will turn out to be. And then I guess that's it. Oh, you know what I need to put here? Offer statement. So that'll be the last thing that we focus on. And I'll just put that there. Okay. So we're going to kind of just scroll back because I want you guys to just get a breakdown and get an understanding of how this all started. So let me kind of zoom in here so that we can just focus on the backstory. So this has not been the first time that I've done coaching. I have given people advice. I've given people steps to make clear decisions. And what has happened over the past month, as I've been doing a lot of live streams, and it's not even because of the live streams, but from people that I've known, and people who trust my wisdom, my insights, my ability to kind of map things out and to provide clarity, was well, I should just say that that's just the reason why it started to kind of get me into this mode of, you know what, it's time. It's really time for me to start doing what I've done before. I'm not new to this. I've done this before, but now coming back around, even with more experience and now focusing on a very particular group of individuals, it's actually going to make a difference here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you the groups of people. The first one, and actually there were two. This month I had two different mentees, and one specifically that actually said, you know what, you'd make a great executive coach. And when they said that, it just lit up. I lit up and said, you're right. Not only because I have done forms of coaching in the past, but now that I'm focusing more on the high impact decision making levels, it was kind of like this confirmation. And I should pause here and tell you that the reason why I'm going through this backstory is simply because this is going to be a part of the why. Whenever I come through some sort of difficulty and I'm asking myself, why am I doing this again? Why am I picking this back up? Last year, I actually hired a business coach for the first about 2 quarters of the year to kind of work some things through. And I learned a lot through that experience. Full circle now, a year later, we're back. We're back here. I don't have that business coach, but we're back here. And I just want to share with you there's sometimes things that just won't leave you. No matter how much you try to do other things, no matter how much, you may even try to run from it. This wasn't something I was running from, more so taking a break. But there will be people or experiences that will come up, you know this from the hero's journey, called the call to adventure, that would challenge you or at least prompt you to say, hey, don't forget. All right. So I had two mentees. I also had a former or an employee colleague, and then also small business owner. And this small business owner, just for context, their revenue was about maybe 500,000 last year. Okay, and so and a newly printed business, and so these three, these are great. Like the two mentees are like, oh man, wow, truly appreciate it. I may have a little bit more experience than they do, and so it just kind of makes sense for them to say those things. But then when you get to the level where it's like, someone who might have been on your level, and maybe I should just kind of lay it out this way, where you now get to former colleague, you're like, someone who is on the same, and let me start mapping some of this out here. Someone who's you would consider on the same, if not slightly more, because sometimes that could be the case. Okay, so we can probably put here. Let's just say this would probably be like maybe it would be like level one. Okay, so whoops, my my pad here is not wanting to play nice. So hold on. Okay. So maybe we should put here, this is going to be level one. This is going to be level two. And then this will be level three. Okay. And the interesting thing here about level three is it's somebody that you might even consider who is making more impact than you are per, let's say, as a term, like per square capita, right? You might be dealing with one individual who's impacting, a huge amount of individuals, right? Which is what a lot of executive coaches, we're going to talk about advisory coaching and what they do. But then you have individuals who, like, they are running an entire business. That would be like level three. So you got the small business owner who's hit level three. I would even go as far as to say, even though I didn't land the contract, and this is why I actually hired the coach last year, because this was let me just kind of switch back here. This person was a C-level advisor for a major hospital network. Okay. So that would be level four. Now, even though I didn't land the contract, it was a huge, huge potential contract, but things didn't work out, and it took about 6 months for that entire engagement to kind of to get to a good place. But then things happened. Not not anything on my end per se, but business is business. So there was just probably a better competitor or something internally that just didn't allow that to work out. But here's the thing, though. This actually opened my mind to realizing how much impact I have. Because at level one, I'm like, oh, I get it. I may have more experience than these individuals. And so, yes, they would, in a sense, look up to me. But then you have level two where you're like, okay, it is, oh my goodness. You're like, okay, this actually is humbling. I mean, no, the mentees too, it's humbling too. But even level two, when you see eye to eye with someone and they're like, hey, you know what, can I get your advice on something? And then level three, which is someone who you would see as, oh wow, little old me, you've asking for my advice, kind of a thing. But at that point though, it's still not like a oh wow. It's more like a this makes sense when you have like the small to mid-size business owners. And then level four, by the way, these are people who I've actually had engagements with, right? So level four is the level where you're like, oh wow, okay, we're here. This is possible. People are looking for the insights, even if it's in a proposal, which in this case it wasn't. So even if they were to take that and use it as some sort of roadmap, it wouldn't be the way that because I didn't get picked for it, would have executed it, or at least have, created the strategy, but at least they can see, the things that this person is talking about here is much more than we considered when we were first looking for, somebody to do this type of work. Okay. So that's the backstory. The why behind this is that I have consistently demonstrated an ability to help people to make clear decisions. That is where we are. Okay. So if, we wanted to kind of put that in there, the insight of me understanding that I had the ability, or not that I had, but I do, you know, having the ability to people make clear decisions, right? So it's just clarity here, and and then not only that, but then there's also social proof, right? So some of the examples that I can probably give is, let's see here, probably should have started with writing this to begin with, but working with the International Monetary Fund, working with, let me see here, Bexar County Specialty Courts, and like a leadership day. We did something with them. Working with, this was another situation here that was also related to courts, but Arkansas Administrative Office of Courts, and there's some others. But with these, we're looking at some proof of helping people make high impact decisions. All right, okay. Ones that I can actually share. Some I can't, but there we are. That's the backstory. That's what leads me now to when I actually had a conversation with this individual. And let me see if I can, I'll probably just keep it clean here. With this individual here, I then realized, a little bit more thick, there we go, that this is something that I need to do, but at another level. Take what the advice of level 3, the level 3 challenge of, you really need to get back into doing this again, but applying it not to your level 1s and to your level 2s, but to your level 3s and your level 4s. Okay, so that's where we are right now. Okay, so now that we've got that kind of mapped out, what I want to do is I now want to focus on, we're going to sprint through this, is the ideal audience. Who am I? Who are the people helping people make clear decisions? Who are specifically these individuals, right? Okay, so let's zoom in. I do have some sticky notes here, so I'm going to try to take these. I'm going to bring them down just so that I can use them. I start zooming in here. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna take a look at is, let's move them over here right quick. Who are we empathizing with? So remember I told you that some of this, I just started to focus on. I wanted to kind of do some of this so that we don't spend too much time, or else this would be an entire day that we would do this. So I kind of got some of this work done already, so that we can kind of work through this and you can see this process. But who we're actually empathizing with, those high impact individuals. But let's get even more specific, okay? So for instance, it can be a senior leader or manager. It can also be someone who is a business owner. Okay. I know now typically we'll have we do two, but or just one. But for now, let's just do two, and then we can always create more context. And for The senior leader or the business owner context here, as you can see, like who is the person, what do we want to understand? Um, they it's either at a smaller or small but growing company. It's got to be growing, or large enterprises. So small but growing company or large enterprise, right? Like I said, I've already worked through these already, so I'm just kind of adding them in here. And the goal here is that they are making high impact decisions that shape the org's future. Okay? All right. I hate writing so much on a sticky note here, but is what it is. And they most likely will be having a few things. So fast moving markets. I'm going to also be operating with budget priorities. Definitely, they have leadership demands, but it's them balancing long term vision with day to day execution. So that's another one too. So balancing long term vision with okay. So this is the who we're empathizing with. All right, got these two here, and the major one is senior exec leader, possibly a manager. All right, okay, or business owner. Next, what do they need to do? All right, so I put them into three buckets, right? Three areas that they'll need to focus on. It's kind of similar to the three things the CEO needs to focus on: people, culture, numbers. But the three things that they need to focus on is strategic direction. They need to focus on resource allocation, and they need to focus on organizational leadership. Okay, and these could include, if we do it in this way with strategic direction, we're probably looking at, and let me know if you guys can't see because I can zoom in. Probably looking at maybe identifying new markets. You might be looking at this one I've helped people with before, product service pivots. So might be looking at, especially this one, vision, mission, and maybe just strategic planning in general here. Okay. For resource allocation, this one is quite broad, but you can probably think about anything that deals with core operations. Here, what I think of is I don't know if you guys have ever used the business model canvas, but like key activities, key resources, partnerships, right? And then organizational leadership is the next one. And then with this one, we look at hiring, of course. We'd also look at Restructuring teams. A lot of this is, you'll see this in a lot of consulting proposals. Because after a while, you can notice the patterns and are very much the same. Remember I told you the three that I have to focus on? You got two of them, the hiring and the culture, right? And maybe even identifying key leaders, or promoting key leaders. So that's also a thing too, right? So I don't know if you want to put like optimizing your key leaders, something like that. All right. So we've got two kind of knocked out. So we're looking at senior execs, leaders or managers, business owners. It has to be small but growing companies or a large enterprise. And the key, they have to be balancing a long-term vision with day-to-day execution. These are the individuals that we're going to be focusing on here. It has to be a balance, okay? If it's just somebody that's doing the day-to-day execution, that's not the person that we'll be targeting or that we'll be focusing on. All right. So next, what we're going to focus on is, what do they see? Right? Okay. Oh, I think we have more to dos actually, because we're looking at like success, like how do you know that they were successful? So I'm gonna move some of this over so that we can focus on that. Okay. So how do we know that they were successful? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Some indicators. Clear strategic roadmap is one. Measurable ROI, unchosen of initiatives, so whatever those ROIs are. And this one for sure, high performing teams aligned with the vision. I kind of gravitate to that one actually. High performing teams one. Okay. All right. So these are some successes, some measurable things that we can point to. All right. Now, what do they see? Well, let's see. What do they see? Well, in the marketplace, they might see rapidly changing customer demands. Remember, this has to be something where there are actual events, occurrences that are happening that makes them need somebody who's going to help them to help make some clear decisions. Industry trends could definitely be one of them. Maybe some new best practices that signal where and how they must innovate. Okay. And AI is definitely one now. In their environment, what we can look at is we can take a look at their need for quick data-driven insights, right? Also, this could also be another one too. What they see is pressure from peers or competitors who are also pivoting or scaling. Okay, so that's definitely another one too. Right? These are some of the things that they could see in the market here. All right. All right. What do they say? Yeah, this is definitely one where they would. It's so funny how I Okay. Might say something like, we can't afford to miss the next big opportunity. Or they'll say something like, um, and we can also imagine them saying these things too. Um, we need a better way to evaluate. And some of this is like, some of it is a little corporate speak. Some of this you have to be a little bit more conversational. Our people are looking to me for clarity. That's definitely a big one. Um, and they'll say something like, I need a solid plan. You know? Also, people say this a lot. Time is money. We have to act decisively, but it's got to be intelligent. Okay. Maybe some implied goals with what they're saying could be demonstrating decisive leadership or building confidence amongst um, stakeholders, right? So I would even put that. Need to get the team, board, where it is, stakeholders buy into this new direction. Speaking of new direction, change management is definitely one that I would probably put up here somewhere as well. Okay. Don't even know where I would put it, but change management is a huge one. Um, as a matter of fact, I'm going to change that color because that's major. Change management includes a lot of things. Maybe I'm going to look at that and kind of break that down a little bit later. Okay. Uh, what do they do? So, what we have, some of the things that they'll probably do is, I remember talking about networking before. So, networking, they'll attend conferences, they'll form strategic partnerships, consulting external advisors, right? There'll be people like me that'll come in, all right? So I probably should include some of those examples there just so that it's in here. Okay, so conferences, partnerships. What else? External advisors. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, I think it's raining outside. Okay. So networking is definitely one. Also, team engagement. Hosting strategic offsite or sprint meetings to align teams, right? That can, be not just retreats, but actual, offsite meetings, taking them out of their environment and being in a different place so that they can just have fresh perspectives. Iterative adjustments, so that's another one too, where they're kind of running pilot projects. Remember, these are not your day-to-day people, right? These are the ones that are doing both. Okay, so these are your people that are running pilot projects. Actually, I should just they run pilot projects, minimum viable products. They also, they're doing this all the time. Information gathering, they're reading market reports, competitor analysis, thought leadership. Okay, so they're doing much more, so much more than these things. But I'm just gonna kind of put that here for now. And many times for the running pilot project, this is before the large scale rollouts for something. Okay. What are they hearing? Well, they could be hearing stuff from the board or from investors that it's like, where's our growth coming from this quarter and the next? Investors. They could be hearing things like, we need to safeguard our market and, well, no, say our market share, explore new revenue streams. Yeah, investors would say this, the board would say that too. Peers or colleagues may say, we need a clear direction. There's too much uncertainty. And this can be their executive colleagues. They're saying this. Let's explore new tech tools. You're going to hear about this a lot, especially with AI on the up and up. Ion ROI. What else could they be hearing? This could be probably from their mentors or from advisors. Focus on your core strengths while planning for expansion of the business. All right. Have you considered the culture impact of these changes? That'd probably be coming from an advisor. Okay. All right. So we've got a few things here that we're taking a look at. Okay. What do they feel? What do they think? So some pains and some gains. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna probably put that in red. FOMO, the fear of missing out on key opportunities or emerging trends. I bet you a lot of FOMO is happening right now. Overwhelm and stress from juggling rapid decision making with limited time. Okay. Risk of public failure. That's a huge one. And, strategic bets don't pay off. The reputation could be on the line. Okay, so it's a few things. Some gains. What are their wants? Let's make this the blue that I got over there. Desire for growth, of course, and innovation. And it goes without saying. Confidence, clarity, feeling in control, well-defined strategy, and buy-in. Okay. I probably want to put that in there too. I'm going to put that in there just so that I know it. Well-defined strategy, buy-in. You better believe recognition and impact is definitely one. Achieving results that validate their leadership, okay, benefits both the organization and their career, right? So, yeah, that's a good one. All right. So we've we filled it out. Now there's definitely more that we could have done, okay? But this is just to get us in a good place. We're looking at senior executives. We're looking at business owners, small but growing companies or a large enterprise. They have to make high impact decisions that shape the organization's culture, future. They have to be balancing long term vision with day to day execution. This is one of the key factors. Okay. They're going to be in fast moving markets. They're going to have budget priorities. But their goal here, what they need to do is they have to do a few things. Strategic direction. Where's the company going? Okay, what products or services do we need to keep or get rid of or change? Resource allocation is definitely one of them where they have to strengthen some core operations. Maybe they need to switch some things up, like their key activities, particular resources, partnerships, and then organizational leadership is another one. Everything from hiring to shaping the company culture, optimizing key leaders, restructuring teams, clear strategic road mapping, measurable ROIs. It can't just look and feel good. It actually has to make you have to have concrete benchmarks, things that you can hit, KPIs, and then change management is probably another one, and that's one that I definitely highlighted because that's a huge one. Change management includes people that have buy-in, changing mindsets, having a clear roadmap so that they understand and can see visibly like what is it that's going to change and how it's going to impact the company or even just their department. Okay, and then for what they see, we've got, sometimes there's some best practices for innovation that have come up, and now it's time to adapt. Some new industry trends, rapidly changing customer demands. They say things like, we can't afford to miss the next opportunity. Time is money, and we have to act decisively, but it's got to be intelligent. We need a better way to evaluate risk and potential ROI. When it comes to risk mitigation, risk management, they are huge on that. Okay. Our people are looking to me for clarity, and I need a solid plan. Okay. What are they doing? Team engagement. They're running pilot projects before they, do it at a larger scale. They're always gathering information. They're always networking as well, whether it's attending conferences, building strategic partnerships, hiring external advisors, and much more, by the way, than that. But some of it is a little bit boilerplate. But then, them focusing on what they hear. So maybe boards and board advisors or board members and investors say, hey, we need to safeguard our market share, but we need to explore new revenue streams. Or colleagues are saying, let's explore some new tech, but let's keep an eye on the ROI. We don't want to be wasting money. Or an advisor saying, hey, have you considered the cultural impact of some of the changes that you're planning on making? The pains that they experience when they're thinking and feeling through all of this is maybe the fear of missing out on key opportunities or some emerging trends, the overwhelming stress from having to make quick decisions within a limited amount of time, the risk of public failure. My reputation's on the line if this doesn't work out, or even if it does, the reputation's on the line. And a desire for growth and innovation, growing their company, finding new ways to, penetrate the market or to maybe even dominate the market, having confidence and clarity. That's more individual, but it's also external as well. Having well-defined strategies and buy-in from the people, and then the recognition and impact. So that falls under leadership validation, and so yeah, this is it. So now that we have the ideal audience, and we can put here the and I want to make this even more clear. So I'm going to put underneath people. No, I can't say people anymore. Say I guess I can put senior leaders. I would hope covers execs. I don't know if I want to say senior executives, but executives and business owners. How about that? Who do what? Well, I was workshopping something a little bit earlier that maybe I can put that I can put here. Let me see here. Let's do a picture in picture so it's a little bit bigger. There we go. Um, who focus on, or who need to make clear decisions on because strategic road mapping is just a tool. So I probably shouldn't focus on the tool. Um, so say strategic direction. Change management is definitely like org related. I don't say organizational structure, but man, I did highlight change management for a reason. And and this might be too specific because I do want to put like org leadership. It's huge. Um, one could argue. Okay. Strategic direction overall for the business. Change management, very specific when something has to change in the actual business, and maybe that's too specific. You know, maybe I need to put that under resource allocation, right? Could that be? You know? Okay, we'll see. But they need to make clear decisions on three areas. All right. Okay. Three high impact areas. Something like that. Okay. And I can always get back to that, but and yeah, let's call them senior execs. Let's separate them. Okay. Value prop. So now with this value proposition canvas and the statement, here's what we're gonna do. I want us to take a look at the left side first, okay? And then take a look at the customer jobs, okay? And some of the things that they're gonna do. So remember, we already looked at the empathy map. So now with the empathy map, what we're gonna do is some of that stuff is gonna carry over, okay? Some of it's gonna carry over. So let's go ahead and with customer jobs, let's start laying it out. We're going to take a look at setting, once again, strategic direction. So this may be identifying new markets, products, pivot, all right? They also need to prioritize budget and investments. They also need to build and lead high performing teams. And this is where I'm going to be finding and updating my ideal audience. Okay, that little statement that I have on the other side. Um, they need to ensure stakeholder buy-in. I love this. With ensuring stakeholder buy-in, they need to tell a story. A lot of this is storytelling, but I think I already see the three that I'm going to be focusing on. Manage large scale changes. This is also change management right here. Ooh. They need to drive sustainable growth. And let me tell you something. The three that I'm already leaning towards is this one, and this one. Strategic direction is cool, but maybe I can. Okay, you know what? Don't even overthink it. Four. Four out of the three. As you can see, I'm not really the numbers. The numbers are important, but yeah. Okay. Next, pains, things that hurt. Oof. We're gonna change the color here to red. So once again, we have the FOMO. Okay. Fear of missed opportunities. So I'm gonna put here worries about falling behind market or tech trends. Okay. Fear of missed opportunities. Overwhelm and burnout. It's definitely one. Constant deadlines, pressure to deliver, limited bandwidth. All right. We talked about this one already. Risk of public failure. Yeah. We also have internal resistance. This one right here. I'm gonna change this color. This one is definitely one that I would love to help people take on. Also, so internal resistance is like difficulty getting full alignment from stakeholders on new initiatives. You see how that ties into managing large scale changes? Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's good. It's good. Resource constraints. It's definitely one. Siloed teams. That may be another one that I want to focus on. Lack of coordination that leads to inefficiencies and missed synergies. And then we're going to put here volatile market conditions. Okay. These two, I think I would resonate with these two. Overwhelm and burnout, yeah. I mean, where he's falling behind the market, volatile market conditions. That's kind of tied in here. But as you can see, I'm starting to narrow down the things that I've either helped people with before, or I just really know I resonate with. Okay, gains. Nothing's wrong with doing that, but just kind of keep a tab on it. But just don't make your full decisions just yet. Okay, so with gains, we have the same like before: market leadership and innovation. So being able to stand out with cutting edge offerings. Okay, that's definitely one forward thinking strategy. Clarity and confidence, another one that we covered already. Having robust frameworks, data driven insights that enable decisive action. We've got recognition and impact. So that's achieving tangible successes that boost personal and organizational reputation. Um, yeah, rock with this one. I have to make that another color. Bloop. Yeah. Um, efficient resource utilization. I feel like that's one of those buzz phrases, but that's focusing on maximizing your ROI, your budgets, your talent, your time, right? So definitely when it comes to hiring, there'll definitely be one. Team alignment and synergy. This might be another one that would probably be in my wheelhouse here. Well, all of these are in my wheelhouse, but it's just the ones that I actually want to work with. Scalable growth is another one. It's building resources and culture that can handle expansion without chaos. Okay, and then actually I'm going to change that. It's a little generic for me, but it is what it is. Personal well-being. So reducing stress, having structured support system, trusted sounding board. That's me. So that would probably mean that I could also help this individual with here, this too. Okay. All right. So as you can see with our customer profile, this is an individual. This exec is somebody who has to, the one that I would be focusing on, has to set the strategic direction. They have to build and lead high performing teams. They have to manage large scale changes and ensure stakeholder buy in. Some of the challenges with that is the risk of public failure, internal resistance, overwhelm, and burnout. And then the more specific ones for the gains is recognition impact, personal well being, and team alignment and synergy. Do you see how the pains align with the gains here? Clarity and confidence actually is another one. So, whoops. Right? And you can notice even the pattern that I have here, where I'm not focusing on sustainable growth, I'm not focusing on market leadership and innovation, I'm not focusing on resource constraints. It's interesting that even my focus, as I'm looking at what I'm resonating with, is it's tied to the person. And as I'm helping the person make particular decisions, they can then be more specific in the other pieces of the organization that they can focus on. So I won't have my hands everywhere. It would just be on one particular area, which would focus on the exec themselves and not all of the pieces of their business. Let me tell you why that's important, because I can even think of certain personas, whether in movies or in real life, where that's what they do. They don't come in and talk to the entire company or the entire suite of execs. They talk to the maybe top four or six, very small set, and then with that information, they can make more clear-headed decisions. I think that's the direction that I'm leaning towards here, which is going to be good. Um, it says here that the device is struggling to record, maybe due to a high load on my device. Try closing other apps. Hopefully, it's still recording. Let's see here. I don't really have a lot of things open though. Let's see. What do I have open here that's causing issues? I don't know. I don't know. I don't have anything, open that's crazy. Maybe using Miro, perhaps, I guess. I don't know. It's interesting. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to now the other side. Okay. And we're gonna look at game creators, paying relievers, the products and the services. So here's where you can probably choose coaching, or what I'm going to focus on is advisory coaching. And let me tell you, and let me explain why. Okay. Hold on for a second. Let's see here. I'm going to stop sharing right quick what's happening. I think it's been chopping up. So let's see if this actually is gonna work a little bit better. But okay, there's a difference between coaching and advisory coaching. All right. So while both coach and advisory coach involve guiding individuals, you saw how I started pinpointing specific things on my a value proposition canvas that's really focusing on guiding the individual. I'm guiding the leader that impacts the leaders. It's so funny because back in 2008, one of my mission statements that I wrote for my graduate, my portfolio was, I want to lead the leaders. I want to motivate the motivators. So it's always been a part of my my internal desire or passion to not hit the masses as much as sitting at the table to talk with the people who will be the people that hit the masses. It's so interesting. Can I see myself as somebody that's like outward facing? Yeah, but I don't think that that's in like really deeply where I'm at. It's helping the other people to do that. It's like being the guy behind the guy. I don't have to be the guy. And so while both of these, the coach and the advisory coach, involve guiding individuals, a coach primarily focuses on facilitating personal growth and development by asking questions and helping individuals discover their own solutions, while an advisory coach leverages their expertise to provide more direct advice and recommendations based on their knowledge and experience. So this is where they often offer strategic insights and more specific action steps. And that's the difference between a coach and advisory coach. Okay. So once again, the coach helps clients determine what they need to do. It lights a path. It's this kind of next sequence of events depending on what's prominent in the client's current situation. So coaching helps answer the question, what do you need to be working on? If you don't have a strategy, for example, that's probably why you're having a problem. This is that kind of a thing. And so you would work on a strategy. And if your processes aren't clear, then you work on the processes. So coaching is all about what a client needs to be working on next to solve the problem at hand. So we do that, right? Coaches do that. I've done that in the past. An advisor or an advisory coach is really about how to do things. So some people they already have a pretty good idea, some clients, about what to do next. They're just not clear on how to do it, and so they want to know how to take those next steps the right way. This is where the high impact decision makers come in, because it's not that they don't know what to do, it's just what's the nuance. What's the impact? How do I avoid pitfalls? Okay, so they know enough about what they're trying to do to make room for somebody who's done it before. And so the challenge here is that they may not have anyone on their team with the right experience, or their team may disagree about how to carry out the task. And so that's where an advisor or an advisory coach comes in, when they find out what the client is attempting to do. And, it may be something like, we make our methods or our processes more painless or more efficient, more seamless. And then you then introduce some best practices to help make that happen for them. Okay. So that's the difference between a coach and between an advisor. So that's why I'm doing advisory coaching. It's going to be a blend between the two. Okay. So a coach uses more facilitative approaches, and the advisory coach offers more direct guidance and solutions based on their expertise. A coach typically avoids giving direct advice and instead empowers the individual to make their own decisions, but the advisory coach may provide clear recommendations and directions. This is what you do next. Okay? I've been in situations where I've done both. So now we can put a name to what this is and what it looks like, right? So I'm going to reshare my screen, and hopefully it will work out. Okay. So we've got coaching, we've got advisory coaching. Definitely this is going to be the focus here, all right? Gain creators. Well, let's look at some pain relievers first. How about that? pain relievers. We create structured. Remember, y'all know I love frameworks and like testing out things. Tools. Oh, we do not need an arrow. A safe ideation space. Listen, this right here, I mean, the structured frameworks as well, but being able to help people to provide it, just providing that confidential, judgment-free environment, great at helping people do that, feel comfortable. Stakeholder alignment methods. This will be great for offering proven communication, negotiation tactics to handle board or investor concerns. Good here. That's all about communication. Tailored support. We've got accountability and follow through. That's tracking progress, holding leaders to milestones. Yeah, I've done that. And then crisis navigation. I like crisis navigation. This I think of Olivia Pope, the fixer, right? So having prepared strategies for sudden changes in the market or organizational circumstances, right? So all of these would align with the pains that are on this side, okay? So the pain relievers. Because if you have structured frameworks and tools, you can simplify complex decisions, mitigating risk, reduce mental overload. That and the safe space takes care of overwhelm and burnout. It takes care of well, no, more so overwhelm and burnout. But the complex decisions, it can focus on the worries about falling behind the market or tech trends, but that can be also with no, you know what? Yeah, I would put that. Apparently, the frameworks and tools and stakeholder alignment methods is probably going to be for the majority of this. But then you've got crisis navigation, which can also help with overwhelm and burnout. Volatile market conditions. When I think of structured frameworks and tools, that can also probably be part of it as well. So there might be some things that we could be missing here. Could be some missing pieces, but let's go with what I want to focus on, and really do like the crisis navigation piece. All of these are actually changing the colors. What color was this? That is definitely not that color, guys. I think I'm colorblind. It's pink, apparently. Interesting. Okay. Gain creators. Data-driven insights. I don't know. Let's make this yellow. Let's go back to yellow here. Innovation acceleration. That's like facilitating idea generation and quick prototypes or pilots to capture new opportunities. Hello, UX design. Leadership empowerment. That's definitely coach related there. Organizational cohesion. Scalable systems. I like me a good system. Thoughts, leadership, visibility. Okay. So now that we've got our canvas, and by the way, we can do so much more. I've done canvases with clients where it is packed. We're talking about like 15 minimum for each of these, but that's, we don't have to overdo it, all right? We're pushing an hour here. So we've got our backstory. We've got, actually, let me take all of this and move it closer. We've got our ideal audience, senior execs, business owners. we've got, and maybe it's not even business owners if they're small. Senior execs would be like CEOs or a CXO. So maybe we say, well, when we say exec, it's really, I don't know if I have to be more specific and say like, C-level execs. Okay. Then we've got, let's work on, this statement. Whoops. Oh my goodness. Hold on for a second, y'all. Whole mouse just fell out. Give me 1 second, y'all. Come back right quick. Hold on. Um, all right. Okay. So we're gonna do. Okay, it's gonna be, for starters, wordy. Turn vision into action by providing strategic coaching. See, I already tell you what we're gonna skip out because I have like strategic coaching, tailored workshops, leadership development programs. Not gonna do all of that. By providing strategic coaching. I don't even want to say proven frameworks, but because it's more than just frameworks. How do I know this? Because we're looking at this right here. Tailored support, safe ideation space. So frameworks and tools is just one thing, right? Stakeholder alignment methods could be part of a framework. My proven framework. Tailored support. Ugh. For now, y'all know how I can get. Believe this part here is important, even if I don't include it in the final one. I don't even want to put uncovering new growth paths. I don't even think I want to focus on that. Decision-making stress is definitely one of them. Internal resistance. I would probably, but that also, that's part of decision-making stress. Internal resistance is a part of decision-making stress. But not necessarily. That could be like something that's totally different. Oh man, yeah. Decision-making stress is personal. This one is with the actual people and teams. Just for starters, I want to make this even more specific here, because do I want to focus on the teams as much as these areas, right? Ensuring stakeholder buy-in. We have the leadership performing team. So the things that I've highlighted are the things that has already been worked out in and the unique value proposition statement. So it's all aligned because this is what I'm, what I'm drawn to. I'm drawn to two sides, drawn to two big parts. The internal conflict of the decision maker and the internal resistance of their team. If I can put that in a way where helps relieve the internal conflicts. I'm going to try it out. Because internal conflicts already is a term on its own. So, and I don't want to say within the decision maker because that's kind of already, you know, well, let's work it out. Okay. Team and build cohesive, high performing. Yeah, this sounds very redundant, but I help high impact executives turn vision into and do I even want them to turn vision into action? Is it about vision, turning vision into action? By providing strategic, get real specific here, advisory coaching. By proven frameworks and tailored support, relieve the internal conflicts within the decision maker and internal resistance amongst the team to build cohesive, high performing can't say teams again. People sounds too high performing people. That sounds very. And is the goal to build cohesive, high performing people? Okay. I'm going to put a pin in that. But as you can see, that's super long. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can have OpenAI help me with this. Let's see what it does. Because you've got the bones of it. Let's see what we can get out of this. Maybe it could be this. Another text. Ooh. Okay. I help high impact executives turn vision into action. Now, I don't even know if I want to talk about turning vision into action with strategic advisory coaching that addresses internal conflicts, resolves team resistance, and unifies people into a cohesive, high performing organization. Now, the internal conflicts here is where I think I would have to go back and focus on I would have to focus on the stress, decision making stress. So maybe relieves decision making stress, resolves team resistance, and reunites. Ooh, I like this. Reunites, relieves, resolves, and reunites. The reason why people say reunite is because they were together at one point. Had to be. There was cohesion at one point. Let's bring them back together into cohesive, high performing organization. Okay. Okay. This might be a little bit better. The only thing that I think I would focus now on is this whole idea of turning vision into action. I let's see. Let's see if we can fix that right quick. Okay. I think we're almost there. We're almost there. Um, Now, I don't like sustainable growth. We got to go back to the drawing board here. Strategic direction might have to be the thing. Helping high impact executives crystallize strategic direction. Like crystallizing the direction, I don't know if that makes sense. That probably sounds too abstract. Um, think about the pain relievers here. I provide high impact executives with a safe ideation space that relieves decision making stress, resolves team resistance, and reunites. That might, a safe ideation space. Let's try it out. Let's try it out. Let's try that out. And as you guys can see, if you're ever wondering like you got to do both. You can't just use ChatGPT alone. Like you got to make your own. And that's what we're doing right now. So I'm going to take this I but see if I say I provide a safe space, that's more of the approach versus what I help them to get done. And that's the piece that needs to stay in the beginning. So I can't say providing, you know, that safe space because if I do, I provide, and then it's kind of like high impact executives. Safe Asian space. See? Because the safe ideation space is the strategic advisory coaching. Includes that. So I would still have to start off with help. Okay, so I don't want them to use thermal growth and okay. So how could we do this? I help this might be this might be a little better. If you can focus on I help high impact executives achieve clarity and momentum with strategic advisory coaching that relieves decision making stress, resolves team resistance, and I want to put back in reunites reunited everyone sounds so reunites everyone into a cohesive high performing organization. The stress from the leader, the resistance from the team, the performance of the organization. This could work. If you can help them to achieve clarity and momentum, if it's clear, they can get, maybe, perhaps. As you can see, we can keep going on this. All right. But definitely, the clarity is definitely one. Um, Confidence? I don't know. Put confidence there and see how that changes. Getting the clarity and confidence when they can speak, they can say the decision, they can say the change management initiative with their chest and what that looks like, you know? Um, yeah. Because the resistance will come from change management, the decision making would come from just some sort of complex situation that they need to work through, and the reuniting everyone. Um, okay, we're gonna go with that for now. As you can see, clarity and confidence is more individual focus. It's not sustainable growth. It's not what do we have before? Vision into action. No, clarity and confidence is specific to the executive. Okay. Pricing. I've got some insights here, and I can kind of run through it. But as far as pricing, what I'm gonna focus on is, and tell you how I worked through that. The typical. So I'm not going to do hourly, but I'm going to break it down so that it makes sense market wise, from an hourly perspective. Okay. Um, so I'm going to ask. So what are because and I workshop some of this as well with a friend of mine, in talking about how a lot of the coaching prices can be similar to therapy rates. So what are the typical? All right. So it can range. Advisory coaching can range from 100. Actually, let me. The range in the government name. Some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about too. It's 100 to 500 per hour. Okay. And most coaches falling within the 150 to 300 range. okay, depending on their experience. Okay, so I'm also going to put that. Oops. Most coaches. Why do I have it in all caps? I'm definitely working more than 150. Just want to let y'all know that right now. Okay. Depending on the experience, expertise, their niche. Yes, I say niche. Location, all of that. Okay. New coaches, we ain't new out here. New coaches, that's what they would do. Okay. So there's that. That's per hour. Now, package wise, it'll be a little bit different. And I'm just actually going to do that myself, right? We'll work out the package for that. Okay. So what I would end up doing, actually, I worked this out. Listen, I just got some consulting too, y'all. Don't think we just pulling this out of thin air. So what it would look like is, and I guess I can probably put here price, probably package. That's probably what we would need to have here. And the package, the package would look like 4 sessions, and within those 4 sessions, actually, let's use some sticky notes for this one. We'll have session 1 lays out the jobs to be done. Session 2, we actually drill down on the specific thing that we're focusing on. Session 2 and 3, actually. In session 4, we'll focus on doing it with the team. So session 1 would be with the individual leader. So this would be with the executive. Jobs to be done. And then also with the executive, we focus on why does this look bigger or smaller? It's interesting. Oh, because I don't have the little colon there. Okay. It's going to be so we're figuring out what the specific challenge is. So what we would end up doing is getting a good sense of a layout, almost like a visual layout of, okay, what's happening, okay? Kind of like, I hate to use the word landscape because how generative AI has just taken it and soiled it. But it's landscaping. And with that in mind, we then go from landscaping to it's a drill down. I mean, the only way I could think about it is just like pinpointing the whole thing is really clarity, but pinpoint, not pain point, but we're going to pinpoint. Um, there's probably another pithy way to say it, but maybe I should use like certain pinpoint, target the problem, jobs to be done. Better way of putting this is discovery. I mean, this is what we do in UX all day. Instead of the empathize or the empathize phase is the discovery phase. Just everything about the problem. Um, in this case, it wouldn't be everything about a problem as much as everything about whatever the situation is to understand all of the specific nuances of the thing. So just whole day, first session, doesn't have to be a day, but the first session of just discovering the challenge. Then we would, we could, I mean, I must say, if I'm gonna go back to like my UX roots, we go from discovering the thing, everything about it, to defining specifically what it is. We pinpoint what that area is, um, and then from the team, you know, so hey, listen, some things you just can't get away from. It's okay, okay. Discovery of the decision that needs to be made, discovery of everything, the landscape, everything that needs to, that's involved with it. Now, defining specifically what it is that maybe are going to be the more high impact levers that need to be pulled, perhaps. And then here, another word for buy in, that's probably a DI level iteration, but I don't think I'm going to find a D word for buy in. Don't think so. Team. Okay. So this is where we got. Okay. Total discovery. The defining is not just defining the problem specifically. At the end, we define the problem, that we're solving here. But here is kind of defining. So it'll be a little bit different from our, the design thinking methodology. It wouldn't be defining this specific challenge, but here you probably start defining some solutions, defining, maybe a framework. All right, what's the real issue here? Okay. If I could, I probably would, call this, looking for impact levers or something like that. Determine everything that's at stake. Something like that. Buy-in. Kind of bring them in. Kind of like that. Yeah, we'll see. We shall see. And maybe I break it down. So maybe you know, each session. So instead of just having, 2 and 3. Maybe I just separate it so you know that 2 is defined, 3 is also defined. Maybe I can change it up a little bit. Last one though is going to be for the team. You gotta talk to the team. Okay. Okay. I mean, it feels okay. It doesn't feel perfect, but it feels okay. All right. That's the package. So the package has 4 sessions. And what we're going to focus on is for that entire package. What did I have here? That I worked through. It would be okay. Would be at 2K. And the thing is, it would be 3 1-hour sessions. Okay. 3 1-hour sessions with the leader, and then 1 hour, a 1-hour session with the leader's team. Okay. Maybe here, maybe I can just put leader so it makes. Okay. 4 1-hour sessions. Okay. So this is 4 in total. 3 of them with the actual leader. Okay. So 3 with the leader, and then 1 with. Ugh. I don't think it's gonna move. Oh yeah, we'll move. Okay. Okay. All of that together. So now we're not doing. Well, we'll do per. Yeah, do per hour. So if it's 4 hours, let me tell you where we at for the package. For me, which nets out to 500 an hour. Which by the way, I've done before. By the way, I have done 5-hour packages. Well, not packages, but 5-hour, $500 an hour sessions before. That's nothing new to me. So I don't even I don't even buckle at that. It's like, okay, yeah. If anything, this is on the low end as I'm piloting this thing. All right. Okay. Or I should say repiloting. All right. So this is me. And let me just put that in a. is me. All right, cool. 4-hour package. It's this. All right. Where's my thickness at? Where's my thickness at? Give me the thickness. Okay. Oh no, I can't help myself. All right. 4-hour sessions. Price, package. Okay. So now we need to create the offer statement. And I workshopped this just a little bit. So I'm gonna throw in what I have, and I think we're gonna have to revamp it. But all right. Now for this, for the 4 1-hour sessions, it would come in 3 parts. One is discovery. 2 is define, and that's why that's what I need to do. I need to do it this way. Boom. So 1 is discovery. 2 is define. And then 3 is, give me a good color here. Contrast. Okay. 3 is, it's not the team buy-in, it's the team. Yeah, well, you know what? Yeah. Team buy-in. Yeah. Workshop. Something like that. Okay. So we've got, and I'm gonna clean this up just a little bit here. So we've got 1. Hold on. Oh, we're gonna get a little fancy here, y'all. Okay. So we're not gonna do a border. We're going to do, wait. I'm selecting the wrong thing. No border. I want to do black. Black. And then we'll do increase it just a little bit. Bold that. Okay. 1. 2. Ooh. 3, right? So we've got part 1, part 2, part 3. Four 1-hour sessions. 3 parts. It sounds kind of confusing, but when I break it down, it'll make sense. So, for the offer statement, what we gonna do? I'm gonna take one of these here. And we're gonna start to work out what the offer statement is gonna be. I'm piloting a 3-part coaching strategy. designed for high impact executives looking to drive sustainable growth and team alignment. We're going to fix that. I'm only taking 8 clients. That's too many for this initial phase, but you must enroll by March 15th, 2025 to secure your spot. That I can kind of, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that a little bit. So let's see here. We're going to keep the 3 parts because it is a 3 part. Okay. Instead of saying coaching, I'm going to say advisory. All right. Yeah, let's keep that. Advisory strategy designed for high impact decision making executives. That's a you know what? Yeah, let's do that. High impact decision making executive. All right. Looking to this is the piece right here that we need to pull from our value proposition statement. Do you guys see why we do all of this work? Looking to resolve team resistance, looking to achieve clarity and competence. See, that's the part. That's the part that. So I was looking for this whole time. Okay. Looking to. I don't know. Achieve clarity might be too. Achieve clarity and team alignment. Okay. Okay. Can I find people who? Will I find enough people that are just like, no, it's not team alignment. It's team resistance. Because it does make a difference based on how you think about this. I'll say 4. 4 for starters. That's okay. I don't even need to put initial phase. March 15th. That's a month from now. That's too far out. March 1st. I'm feeling ambitious. All right, how is this offer statement? I'm piloting a 3-part advisory strategy designed for high impact decision making executives looking to achieve that. That's kind of wordy. Looking to achieve clarity and team alignment. I'm only taking 4 clients, and you must enroll by March 1st to secure your spot. Don't need to say 2025 because we know it's going to be 2025. March 1st to secure your spot. We can get even more specific. We could get even more specific here. High impact executives looking to achieve clarity and team alignment by reducing decision making stress and resolving team resistance. Something like that. We could probably do that too. Only problem with that is I have two teams, the word teams twice, and that's the piece that's kind of like but let's see. So statement, we're gonna drop this down. Oh my, oh my, oh my. You don't want that. You can keep it a little thin. All right, and oh yeah, and I think I removed the arrow that time, so I'm gonna put the arrow back. Okay. Just have it connect. Have this connect to it. Please, thank you. All right. So now we're gonna do is I'm piloting a 3-part advisory strategy. Maybe advisory strategy isn't the word. Coaching strategy. alignment. I guess now I have a lisp. Okay. Maybe I don't need design for. Collecting strategy for high impact executives looking to achieve clarity and team alignment. I probably, I don't know, boardroom buy-in. Listen, investors, I don't want to use the word stakeholder. Maybe I need to. It just sounds too buzzwordish. And maybe I don't even need to say it at all. I'm gonna use the right word that maybe, maybe y'all. I'm piloting a three-part coaching strategy for high-impact executives looking to achieve clarity and team alignment while reducing decision-making stress and increasing investor buy-in. I'm only taking 4 clients, and you must enroll by March 1st to secure your spot. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like 75%, 75. Let me zoom out. For those of you that almost at midnight are coming in, welcome. So here's what we're doing, and I can just do a little recap here. Backstory. So it was affirmed this month through very specific instances that I have the ability to help people make clear decisions. And so I kind of map these out in different levels live. I've never done that before. So this is kind of the process that I'm showing you now is what I would do with an actual client. I'm actually harder on myself though that I would be with the client, if that makes sense. Meaning, not that I would not be giving them less of myself, but I think you more critical. So level 1, 2, and 3, and 4 is where I started to realize that the higher the level I went with helping people make clear decisions, it was even more evident. It was apparent that this is something that I should take a stab at again. I've done it before, but I think now as I'm kind of circling back around and I've hit a level 4 experience last year, it might be time to do it again and to as part of what this year is about is amplifying what I have, and a large part of that is why I'm doing a lot of live streaming. Right, my ability to articulate things, my ability to in real time help people make clear decisions, clarify things for myself, which also makes it clear for you, all of that. And so that's what this is about. This backstory is part of my why. Okay, or I should say, is the why. I've seen it happen before. It's happened in various places. These are some of the examples here: International Monetary Fund, the Bexar County, in I think this is San Antonio, Arkansas Administrative Office of the Courts was another example. There are a bunch of examples, but the point is, it gives me enough fuel, enough reason to start focusing on, okay, so who would my ideal audience be? Senior executives and business owners who need to make clear decisions on 3 high impact areas: strategic direction, organizational leadership, and change management. Now, honestly, I kind of forgot about this statement. I can use that maybe for the other side. Value proposition. Well, I help high impact executives achieve clarity and confidence with strategic advisory coaching that relieves decision making stress, resolves team resistance, and reunites everyone into a cohesive, high performing organization. How do I do that? Well, I've got 4 1-hour sessions. It's broken down into 3 parts where we focus on the leader in part 1 to determine everything that's at stake. And then in part 2, we define impact levers or levers. And then in part three, which is the fourth hour, we focus on team buy-in. We present these findings to the team and we have them workshop it together. That being said, I am piloting a three-part coaching strategy for high impact executives looking to achieve clarity and team alignment while reducing decision-making stress and increasing investor buy-in. I'm only taking 4 clients, and you must enroll by March 1st to secure your spot. I mean, I think I feel okay with this. I think I feel okay. I feel okay. One thing that I need to consider, guys, that I have not considered is going back to this piece right here, the high impact areas, strategic direction, organizational leadership, and change management. Okay. So when I go back here and looking at the 3 parts and high impact executives who, and that's where I might need to, who are looking to achieve strategic direction, clear change. Like that's what I'm thinking. Do I need to be that specific? And maybe I do, right? For the offer, most offers is very specific, or this might just be enough. And maybe I don't even need to say investor buy-in. Maybe I can just say buy-in. Buy-in of what? Investors, stakeholders, your employees, your team, your colleagues. Okay. And then I guess underneath that, if I needed to, like if I just needed to explain further, I could talk about, you know, some of the areas, right? I can talk about strategic direction. I can talk about I forgot how to connect all 3. I don't even know if I can. There's a way to do it, right, y'all? Y'all know there's a way to do it. Y'all know there's a way to do it. I probably need to create another one. And drop it down so that it's perfectly aligned and change management. And then that way, wait, why is it so, y'all forgive me. Okay. Can it just all be pushed back together like a happy family? Huh. Okay. Okay, y'all. Ooh, that is gnarly. Is there a way to group that together? Guess I can't move that. All right. That's where we are. And then I can, oh wait, no, not strategic direction, organizational leadership. It's getting late. Falling asleep. Or not getting focused. Okay. And then when we look at strategic direction, it has to fall in these 3 categories, okay? And if it doesn't fall within these 3 categories, then I think that's where I would I think that's where I would have to just say no. Sorry. Okay. For anybody who's still watching, I salute you. You guys are troopers. For those of you that are just coming in, hey, how y'all doing? We out here fixing out the offer statement. We're almost done. We are wrapping up. Um, it's not the only thing that it does, but um, I don't know. I I think I might have to. I think I might have to hold off on how specific I want to be here. I gotta see. Hmm. Okay. I think we've got it. I'm making too many mistakes now. Time to go to bed. We need to pause that so you can actually see it. Okay, so this is the new advisory coaching offer. And yeah, I feel like there's some things that I definitely need um, to consider. But this is it. Feel good about it. What I don't feel good about is the two widows that I got. There we go. Or orphans, really. Okay. Okay. The only thing I know, I just said I was almost done. The only thing that I would change here would be, I want to check mark. Yeah, we're not upgrading under this account. Okay. Would be putting in, like filling in strategic direction, right? Helping people to develop a clear long-term vision. But it's not, see, it's not just that. It's not just that, because it also needs to focus on like maybe identifying new markets, deciding on pivots, you know? So maybe I should just put that there. Pivots is part of change management. Um, I mean, this one too, like, finding. This could also be a thing as well. I spoke that wrong. I just don't know where. No, I feel like change management specifically. Hmm. And then we can even get more specific. Like how, so because change management, it's so much more. I just want to break down some of it for you guys. It's probably like I like this right here. High adoption rates. This part right here, a lot of companies fail at this. Clear communication throughout the change process. This is one. This hey y'all, this just might be the one. Honestly, I say that because okay, y'all will see. Y'all will see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This part right here. This part right here. I'm telling you, listen, a lot of companies struggle with this. Struggle with this piece. Okay. And why? Cause listen, I got 2 degrees that focus on communication. Whew. All right. Well, it's not about the 2 degrees, but I've got four in total. Organizational leadership. I like the develop and strengthening the leadership bench. I like that. And fostering a culture of accountability, collaboration. I like those. Okay. But as you can see, I'm really like taken. I'm taken to to this one, change management. So it could very well be that I refine the offer statement to focus on people who need to guide teams through transitions or to oversee organizational transformations by helping them make clear communication through the change process, providing morale and productivity during periods of significant change. That could be my offer. So if I were to write another offer statement based on all of this, ooh, it would focus on, let me tell you something. It would, is there a way to highlight both? What did that just do? I don't know. I don't even know what that did. I think it aligned it. Um, yeah, I would make a new offer statement that, in essence, says, stop the madness. This right here. I'm piloting a three-part coaching strategy for high-impact executives looking to achieve clarity and team alignment and guide teams through a significant transition. This might actually have to cost more, y'all, by the way. Okay. Now I don't like the repetition. Looking to achieve clarity. Maybe if I just say alignment as they guide their team through a significant strategic shift. And I probably don't even need to be wordy there either. But It could be a restructuring. It could be a rollout of technology. Anything. Okay. The thing that's going to help them here is telling the right story to their teams. Storytelling. I'm not even going to write it down. I This is what's going to help them. Executive storytelling. This is what I mean by executive storytelling. Um, I mean, we know it's communication, but communication, specifically within communication, storytelling, and I don't know. I mean, honestly, I do want to say buy-in, but buy-in. It just seems so big. Team buy-in. Okay. Move this over here. This is the actual statement. And this statement is based on change management. All right. I'm gonna float this around. Um, I forgot that I changed that. I'm gonna float this around. Gonna see what people think. I think this is it. Oh, almost forgot I'm on live, y'all. Okay. It says it's struggling to record. I'm not sure why, but this is where we're at. I'm going to do one last. I'm going to do one last recap. Okay. So let's just do a recap from the beginning, so that we get an understanding of everything that we did, and we are going to call it a night. All right, everybody. Okay. So first, this is where I want you to understand where I'm beginning. A little bit of the backstory. The reason why I'm creating a backstory is because this is going to be helpful for me in understanding the why and to hold on to that when things will get challenging as time progresses. So this backstory is validating my having the ability to help people make clear decisions. So I took a look at the last 4 weeks and the individuals who reached out to me unsolicited for their advice, for my advice and my insights. And so I then stratified it into levels. So I've had two mentees that reached out to me this month at a level one, and that's the reason why it's a level one is because it's expected that someone who may have a little bit less experience than you is asking you for some insight, some advice, some mentorship, and so it doesn't feel as as not overwhelming, but it feels it's normal. It just feels normal. You have more experience. You lend your experience to that individual and you get to see them grow. Level two is where it starts to get a little bit more interesting because now you are seeing eye to eye to this individual. And so for me, a former colleague who reached out, and it was very beneficial and validating for me, also, of course, for them to realize that there are people who in your circle who you would see as eye to eye, or maybe even a little bit more experienced than you in your opinion, would come to you and ask you for advice. That's level two. Level three was a small business owner. This is the one that kind of crystallized it for me. As a matter of fact, this is where I decided to then take the session that we did together, and we talked about it, and he even challenged me, listen, you need to get back into doing this for yourself. And so this level three is somebody who, this particular individual, newly minted business, made almost half a mil last year, which was, a tremendous feat. And I call it level three. It's because I'm now working with somebody, I'm in coaching or lending my advisory insight to someone who also is responsible for multiple people. So there might feel a little bit more pressure. And I think that's the word that I was looking for. Level one, no pressure. Level two, not really much pressure. Level three is like, based on what I tell you, high impact, right? This may impact not just you, but an entire team or teams. Level four is just level three maximized. So this didn't happen this month, but it did happen late last year. I think it was late last year, where it was over a 6 month engagement, and I was able to connect with a C-level advisor for a major hospital network initiative that was going to happen. 6 months, great conversation. Still connect with the individual today, but the initiative just didn't work out. So this is why I have the backstory, because if ever I get to the point where I ask myself, am I, am I capable? Can I do this? Yes, you can. Why? Because you've experienced levels 1 through 4, and levels 1 through 4 validates that you have the ability to successfully provide advisory coaching. And then you have some experience here. So I kind of listed some examples like the International Monetary Fund. And so taking the backstory, we now look at the ideal audience. My ideal audience is senior executives, it's business owners who need to make clear decisions on three high impact areas: strategic direction, organizational leadership, and change management. Now, looking at the value proposition, what we focused on here were their pain points, their gains, their jobs to be done, and connected them to the product or the service in this case, which would be advisory coaching. There's a difference between advisory coaching and coaching. We talked about that. The gain creators and the pain relievers. And with that, we settled on this, still work in progress, but we settled on this particular value proposition statement. I help high impact executives achieve let me reverse it. I help high impact executives achieve clarity and confidence with strategic advisory coaching that relieves decision making stress, resolves team resistance, and reunites everyone into a cohesive, high performing organization. I think that this is going to be very key to what we've discussed next. So I took a look at some pricing, look at the range of what's happening in the market right now, what most coaches actually charge. And then I settled for not an hour, not a settle, but I chose not an hourly rate, but a package rate. This package rate, which you can see if you break it down, is $500 an hour, but it's not based on the hour. It's really based on the outcome. And that's why I'm focusing on the actual package. Here is 4 1-hour sessions, and it's broken into 3 parts. 3 parts. 2 parts for the leader, 1 part for the team. So in part one, we're determining everything that's at stake. So it's a discovery session with the leader. In part two, which is sessions 2 and 3, we still focus on the leader, but now we're starting to define more specifically what's actually going on, looking for some impact levers. And then once we have everything together, like kind of shaped together, and I think maybe this define can be something else here. I'll figure that out a little bit later. Maybe it's determined. We then go to part 3, which is looking at the team and their buy-in. And so we'll do some sort of workshop, some sort of facilitation to allow the team to understand what's actually happening based on what we as both leader and coach have worked through together. So the offer statement is, first, starting with this three-part advisory strategy, but then looking at it a little bit deeper, realize that change management is probably the focus right here. And the reason why is because a lot of it focuses on clear communication throughout the change process, strategic shifts that need to be made, but it has to be communicated effectively, addressing resistance proactively, maintaining positive morale and productivity during periods of significant change. And so instead of just talking about, these high impact executives that are looking to achieve clarity and team alignment and decision making, reducing stress and buy-in, I want to make it more specific. And if I need to then broaden it, I can, go up a layer. So the offer statement that I have right now, which I'm going to share and release a little bit later, is that I'm piloting a three-part coaching strategy for high impact executives looking to achieve clarity and alignment as they guide their team through a significant strategic shift. I'm only taking 4 clients, and you must enroll by March 1st to secure your spot. This will include some communication techniques, strategies, frameworks. It's going to include business storytelling. This is going to include the benchmarks that are needed for successful team buy-in. And maybe I should put that in there. Team buy-in benchmarks. That's actually what I should do. Something like that, maybe. Team buy-in benchmark. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah. All right, y'all. That's it. I'm putting executive communication frameworks, business storytelling techniques, and team buy-in benchmarks. We'll see. We'll see. This is just one process. But as you can see, I did this in 2.5 hours from beginning to end. Now, add, I would say, an additional hour for some of the pre-work that I did just so that this live wouldn't take that long. So it would be almost 3.5 hours. Okay. Now we actually did this entire process. So I did some of that back work, right, that I mentioned before, just so that we won't have to, you know, take up all of this time. But the point is, you were able to see how I was able to go from backstory all the way through to my offer statement. Okay, so I got through the why, which is the backstory, the who, which is the ideal audience, the what, which is my value proposition statement, and also the price, and the how and the when, which is the offer statement. Okay. So I went through all of the questions: who, what, when, where, how, and why. Okay. I'm hopping off this live, and hopefully this actually is going to, whoops. Hopefully this is all gonna be recorded in a live. I'm not sure if it is, but we shall see. All right, everyone. Tomorrow we shall meet again.